What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. It is election day, and markets are flying right now. They are higher, and we will see what it means. But remember, volume is thin, it is light, and there's not a lot going on. So we have to be prepared for anything. And again, it is my recommendation that you take it very easy today, because you will get some whips back and forth, and of course, obviously, when they're in your favor, they're great. When they're not so much. But right now, we have not a lot to do from a day trading standpoint. There is a potential buy right here in the euro currency, which we can look at, and we will. We're looking for a little bit of a green bar here. Our stop would be 109.04. 109.04. Let's see if we can get a buy out of it. And we got to wait about 30 seconds, but we'll see. Let me just check a couple other things real quick. And not yet, right? We don't get a buy yet because it's still going down, which is what we're looking for. Let it keep going down because we know we're going to be a buyer. So this minute will not put us in. Let's just see if there's anything else happening while we're watching. No, not really. Okay, so let's just go back and see about this baby, and then we'll get to our other stuff as well. But again, as I said, it's volatility is coming back in a little bit today. It's been very, very high. Option pricing has been very high. But let's see here if we can get this trade to trigger, which it looks like it's going to now. But we must wait and see. $109.05 is your stop, if we should get in. And it looks like it's going to be a trade. And go ahead and play it if you want to play. That's where we're in. I'm going to put my stop in. Okay. And anything else happening here while we're waiting to go look at anything else? And no, not really. Again, the volumes are very light, so it makes it much more of a challenge to play. So let's go take a look at. We will look at Planeteer today, or Palantir. This is one I'd certainly look to be selling. It's up. It's trading at a gazillion times earnings. I have actually, just full disclosure, I already sold the 40-50 spread for $8. And again, I would look to sell this, and it's not negative. It's not that I don't think it's a good company or can't go higher, but it's way extended, way past where it should be. We went from oversold to overbought all in a moment. And of course, Apple very oversold. I think Apple is a buy. Okay. And I have already, and it doesn't matter. You haven't missed anything yet, but I have already sold. What did I sell in Apple? Just to give you exactly, I sold the 225, 235 put spread. Okay. So I'm looking for a sizable rally here in the next, and these trades that I've given you so far are for the 15th, okay, a week from Friday. And Amazon, a little bit oversold. I'd be a seller of Amazon. I think that you want to look at selling. Let me see what we're gonna do here. Hold on, let me get my window up, my trading window, and Amazon, AMZN. Okay, for the 15th, I want to sell let's sell the 197.50. I can sell that for $5.45. The corresponding put is trading at at 260, and I'm doing this trade for 750 credit. So I'm actually saving about 60 cents on the versus selling the spread versus buying the call straight out. So I'm going to go ahead and put that trade in. Okay. Coin, no, in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Not much to do here, just bouncing around. Crowd, in the middle of nowhere, just bouncing around. Meta, a little bit oversold. I think it's at a good level. I'm not going to do anything with it right now, but certainly it would be one I would look to sell some put spreads in. I would expect a rally out of this as it stays in this consolidating box. Google, we've already missed. This was a sale last week. Again, no big deal. It's there's never a worry if you miss a trade. It's the worry if you're not trading at all or if you're not looking for opportunity. IWM, not much to do. Let's go just take a look back and see what's going on here. Our trade is working nicely. Get a couple more ticks. We might just take that stop. In fact, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and bring your stop up to break even right now. I don't want to take any real risk here today. Put your stop in at break even. Maybe we'll get a runner, maybe not, but at least we know that we are going to cover our cost of trade and maybe make a little bit of money, maybe a hot dog or a hamburger. That's really all we're going to do here, and maybe we'll get lucky and get a runner. Moderna, they got earnings coming out. I mean, this just looks sick. It just doesn't look like it wants to go up at all, but I wouldn't get involved until after earnings. Microsoft, pretty much oversold. Looks like it's found a bottom. I would think you want to look at potentially selling. Let's see what Microsoft looks like. Michael Sierra, Foxtrot Tango. And let's look for next week. Let's see here. Sell. So the 425, 412.50. 425 and buy the 412.50. 767 for 12.50. So we're taking $4.73 risk, and the actual corresponding put or call, which we'd be buying, is $7.30. So obviously you're doing a much better for yourself if you decide to sell the put spread versus buying the call. Nice little profit in your euro currency. Just lock in 2 ticks and we'll see what happens from there. MSTR, not much to do, just kind of right around median, right on the midpoint. Nugget, right around the midpoint, not much to do. NVIDIA, right at the midpoint, nothing to do. And these are the things you want to remember. If there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do. Why force a trade? The Qs came off the bottom, which was we would have expected. There's nothing we're going to really do now. We're already approaching back to the mean. SMCI has earnings today. Now, I took a trade here, and I'm not telling you to take it or not take it. I'm telling you that they had some accounting issues. They got hammered. They're down about 50%, and earnings are today. So either you believe that they've priced everything in, they've caught everything, and we've made a potential bottom here, or you stay away. You certainly don't want to sell it. I did buy it, okay? And I'm not, listen, when we make trades here, we know exactly what our risk is. So we're not concerned about that risk. Getting a nice little run in our euro currency. Go ahead and lock in 3 ticks or 4 ticks here. Make sure you get the money. And then that's the last move we're going to make for a while. We're going to try to let it run, but we might as well get a reasonable profit out of it. Let's just see if anything else is happening since we are seeing some action here. And again, the volume is too light and really not much to do. So again, for my money, I'd rather not get involved here. Again, I'm already involved. We're long. We're making money on the trade. And anything else doesn't really look like it's all that exciting. So why would I want to get, overly involved here? Square, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Nothing really to trade. The SPY, kind of came off just like the Qs that came off in the very oversold conditions, but have already come off, and I've already missed the trade that I'd want to put on. Tesla, not much to do here, just kind of floating in midair. Wind getting clobbered. This is one they've already had their earnings. I would look to sell some put spreads here. I already own it. I already have it in my trading and long-term account. So again, but certainly I would look for a way to get long here. This is a blow off to the downside. XBI in the middle of nowhere. Zoom, I was dead wrong on for the last couple of weeks. I may look at it again, but I'm not going to look at it today. I'm going to let this election play out. And I think that's something you want to remember, that it is an election day. And there's going to be some quick movement back and forth, but the real action won't start until when the polls start reporting about 10 o'clock Eastern time. Okay. And I think that's what you want to wait for and look for. Again, we want to make sure that we get enough action and enough movement to give us a good trade, and at least give us the highest amount of probability that we can get when we're going to make a trade. I think that's something that you have to remember at all times, is this is a probability model. Okay. And without it, if you're playing this off the seat of your pants, so to speak, you're probably not going to do very well. So I think you want to look for the probability trades here. And again, we're not getting enough volume. Now, maybe we'll get a potential sale here, and there's not going to be enough. Okay. It's close, but again, we're not going to reach here for anything. I don't see any reason to reach. I think that when you start to reach, you're making a mistake. Again, maybe we'll get one on the next bar. Again, there's just not a lot to do at the moment. There's not a lot of excitement, so we just have to be patient enough to wait, and you'll find yourself a much better and a much happier trader if you choose to wait for your opportunities instead of trying to force them. Okay, I think that is more important. Meantime, we do have a nice winning trade in our euro currency, and we've got some money locked in no matter what happens. But again, maybe it'll continue to run. And now, pretty soon here, we're going to start to say, well, we got to tighten up that stop, because we are, just like we use on the daily charts, we're getting overbought on a short-term basis here. And normally, probability says that this should start to come back down a little bit. So we're not going to get out, but we're going to tighten up our stop again. And right now we have about 9 ticks in it. Lock in 6 of those ticks right now, because we are in an overbought market on a short-term basis. So we've got a position. We want to protect that profit. So go ahead and lock in 6 ticks. Okay. And if you're trading a big one, that's $75. If you're trading the little ones, depending on how many you're trading, again, I don't know what size everybody trades, but we are extending and into some overbought. Now, as long as the volume stays light, I won't be concerned. I think it continue to go in our favor, but I do want to make sure that I do lock up the profit that I have. Okay. And that is something that you have to always remember as you're watching these markets, is we're here to make money, not to socialize. And it's important that you put yourself in the best position of probability at all times. Okay. That is something that we have to focus on a regular basis to make sure that we are setting ourselves up for success and not for failure. So here we are at a key spot. Now we could get a big run here in the euro currency. We can break out, okay, a little bit farther here. Actually, if it takes out the high, I think we'll get a run. We're right at the high right now of the day. So we can take it out. You might get a quick spike, and we can make another adjustment. Now we're going to get stopped out eventually. The key is we want to get stopped out with our profits, but we don't want to try to figure out when it's going to get out. That's one of the big things you want to remember, is let the markets get us out when it's time, but continue to let it play, because I don't know how far this will run. I don't know how overbought it will get. Okay. And it may be the end now. Who knows? We're right at the high now. Let's see if it'll take and push a new high. If it takes out the high, it could probably move up 6, 7 more ticks right off the high. But again, it hasn't taken it out yet. So here we are. We're on it. We're trading it, but we haven't gone through it yet. In the meantime, you can see the lack of activity everywhere else. Really not much to do. Crude is just spiking higher, but there's really not much to do here. And here is the new high in the euro currency. So let's see if it'll run a little bit. It's kind of standing stagnant, but we do have our 6 ticks locked in. And right now we're up about 11 ticks here. So again, if you're trading more than one, then I would take one off, okay, at the higher profit right now. If you're only trading one, then of course you're going to just let it stop you out eventually. But again, at the end of the day, it's very quiet in these markets. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot to get excited about. Tonight, if you're around, watch starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time when the polls start to report. You should see some wild action in the futures markets later. As I said, we're going to trade live with my members. But at the end of the day, right now, you've got a lot of, this is almost like a betting window. You've got a lot of bets being placed on what the outcome of the election is going to be. Okay. And we got an early rally, which would signify there might be a change. Okay. Again, I can't predict, but I would say that the early rally is based on that there might be a change in the White House. And we'll see what it looks like. But in the meantime, they could easily drop later, and I wouldn't be surprised. We're up pretty sizable right now. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we got back closer to unchanged before the day was done. But a lot of this will be done on rumor and things that are going on. But remember that the bigger they pop in front, they're expecting a result. So if they get that result, it'll probably sell off if we continue to go higher either way. Because again, the expectations will be priced in already. So the announcement or the confirmation will be nothing more than a confirmation of what they got. And of course, usually it's the old buy the rumor, sell the news story. Okay. But again, when you're watching this, you can see that there's very little activity to do here. I mean, certainly if you want to play around in a 1 minute, there might be a little bit more action, but I don't suggest that. I recommend that you sit it out and relax. I don't think there's much to do here. And we'll just stick around for a few more minutes and see if this gets us out here and continues to go up and lets us lock in a little bit more profit, or we get stopped out. Okay, but again, if we get stopped out, we get stopped out at a profit, so it's nothing to worry about. But the rest of the market is just really slow. We got one shot at it, and so far the one shot is going to pay us. Okay, but overall it's relatively dead. So it's relatively, an untradeable market at the moment. Okay. And we'll see here, but I don't see much that's going to happen. We are popping once again on your euro. Okay. So now I would lock in. You should have approximately about a 12 tick profit right now. Okay. I would lock in 8 right now. Okay. That's where I would go. I would go up to 8 and lock that in and let it trade, and just continue to adjust as we go forward. But again, obviously it's very quiet. So that the good news is it's quiet, so it probably won't turn around real fast unless there's a big order that shows up. But it looks like they're buying euros and selling dollars. So we'll see how it plays out. And in the meantime, I'll see you all on Thursday. Be careful, good luck, and have a great day. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.